over the weekends as well, unlike me. I don't understand you, man. You were practicing. I was always impressed by her efforts to practice day and night. But despite this, I never felt like following her example. Perhaps it was just a personality difference. So, what do you plan on doing over here? Asking them how? It seemed that she didn't hear me. Instead, she was peering through the small window of a door to one of the practice rooms. Hey. A faint sound had probably managed to go through as a male student soon emerged from the room. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Huh? Why isn't he saying anything? Huh? What's up, Tortinita? Although she was going at it pretty forcefully, the boy didn't seem to mind at all. In fact, he almost looked happy. What's the matter? Tora looked back at me with a smile. I knew I had to speak up and introduce myself at this point. But I couldn't just be bothered and only nodded my head. Hello. Oh. What do you mean you couldn't be bothered, man? What? Chris. Oh, she just said it. Sorry. It was only natural that I would be rejected by that student, and I understood that my attitude accounted for more than half of it. I apologized to Torta before she had the chance to say anything. Kind of. It wasn't. No. It wasn't difficult to imagine what that guy felt when I had failed to give a proper introduction with a disinterested face to boot. Of course I realized that the request was coming from my side. But I felt as if I didn't really want this at all, and I certainly didn't feel comfortable with it. Ouch. Yeah, I know. I wasn't going to deny it, of course. Even including Torta, the number of people who I could confidently call my friends could be counted on one hand. I'd never considered becoming more sociable. I wasn't particularly discontent with the way things were. Okay, if you set me up with a girl this time... No, wait up. There are other ways to do this, aren't there? We can't just interrupt the rehearsals. Actually, I don't think he would have. I was pretty sure about that. Besides, even if more than half of the rejection could be attributed to my attitude, the remaining portion would entail that I, as a person, was simply not very likable. That fact wouldn't change no matter who we talked to. Students like me simply weren't meant to be in this institute. Most of the students here were ambitious. Becoming successful was foremost in their minds. Nearly all instructors push their pupils to become professionals. Only two types of students fell outside this category. Those who had already completely derailed, and those who were so talented that they didn't have to worry about such things. The former were scorned, and the latter were envied. I believed I belonged to the former, but people tended to categorize me into the latter only due to the special magical talents of mine to play the Fortelle. If it were just that the majority of students envied me, that would have been fine. But there were a lot of students who admired me. However, I never paid any attention to them. That was why Miss Cordell and Torta often told me rumors that people find me obnoxious. So basically, I just didn't really belong here. Why are you so depressed, man? I get it's raining. I understand that can add to a depressing tone, but listen to this music. That music's exciting, happy, lively. People like me weren't meant to fit in with this institute. I never once believed that this institute wasn't meant to fit with me. Yeah, you got that right. Torta should have known these things better than anyone, so why was she doing this? The answer should have been obvious. She was doing this for me. Fine. Yeah, I'm smiling. Now you're asking for the impossible. Okay, frown. I am. Good work, anyway. What? Is it 5 o'clock? Jeez, we spent a while. Good work, anyway. Tora lifted her head from the cafeteria table and reached for her cup. I'd say it isn't. It's still hot. I just told you. See, I told you so, didn't I? I'm getting hot just by looking at it. It's not that cold in here, you know. You can't even handle hot stuff. By then it had probably cooled down just enough since Torta's smile returned as she brought it to the cup of her lips. The cup of her lips, what am I saying? You've liked that since you were a kid, haven't you? Torta seemed to really enjoy drinking her cup of hot chocolate. Yeah, hot chocolate. Who doesn't like hot chocolate? Because that's all... because that's all CEO Colata Caldo really was. On second thought, you probably couldn't even really call it a beverage. Sure, you drank it at first, but in most cases you end up spooning out the thickened residue and eating it. It's sweet and heavy on the stomach. I don't think I could ever drink a full cup. I suppose it is winter, but then again, it doesn't really get that cold here. With those words, I was strongly reminded of my faraway hometown, just as I was when I read Aries' letters. The country was split in two by mountains. We were born on the north side, and we're currently living in the south. The climate and temperature were a bit different, and even in the same winter, it could be quite gentle here. She stirred the chocolate in her cup with a spoon, her delighted expression showing no sign of crumbling. Fine, just don't say it's hot anymore, okay? Okay, fine. It was good to end the topic in good humor. I spoke up again with the underlying intent of apologizing for today. Thanks for today. Torta tilted her cup and happily took another sip. Are you sure it's enough? I'm glad it came cheap, though. I never really expected you to. She's not gonna like that. That's what Chris saying. That's what Chris is saying, not me. That's not what I meant. Though in truth, it kind of was what I meant. But one thing puzzles me. Why did you only ask male students? It might have been It might have been a bit of an intrusive question. But I just couldn't suppress my curiosity. I figured one would normally focus on friends they could easily ask a favor of. If it's just that there are a lot of males among your close friends, then that's fine. I tried to sound frivolous, but if this really were the case, I wouldn't be too happy about it. Finished with their hot chocolate, Torta placed a cup on the table and focused her attention on me. Because it bothered me? Another thing. The last boy she asked didn't even know her name. Why would you ask that person? And some only realized who she was after she explained she was a fellow vocalist. Sorta. What? But that's only a third of the reason. There's my jealousy as your childhood friend, and my concern as your friend. Wasn't that last student someone you didn't even know? Could it be that you don't have any female friends? My severely impolite question didn't seem to register with Torta immediately. Apparently it required some time for it to sink in. Yeah, you're not like me, I know that. You were about to say it to me, weren't you? Okay. Fine. So, was there some reason you didn't ask them, or were they just not available today? Why not? I even said that before Chris said that. Really? What you talked about this afternoon, I thought you didn't believe in it. Then why? That's not a lot. Nope. That's okay, so then I'm gonna say 9/10 jealousy is interested. And what about the rest? I don't really think there are. Random question. Yeah, huh? That came out of the blue. Oh, I got a choice? Jeez Louise. I don't know what to say, because I kind of want Torta to be my partner. I feel like she would... Huh. Okay, I'm gonna go. I suppose I do. I guess that was a bad choice. No need to act so surprised. There's nothing strange about religion. You go to church from time to time too, don't you? I don't know how I could possibly misunderstood that. Yeah, I misunderstood. Ah, something just poked my foot. Ah, I just stepped on a tack. Ouch. That hurt. I misunderstood.
に神様がいて私たちに何かしてくれると思う？
I doubt that.
でしょ？ならクリスは神様はいないと思ってると言えない？
No, gods being objects of worship undoubtedly exist.
難しいこと言って。そういうんじゃなくて、だからほらあれよあれ。
I won't know with just that. I really have no idea what she's talking about.
じゃあ何か悪いことをしたら神様が天罰とかを実際に下すと思う？
Like I said, I don't think so.
でしょ？多分みんなクリスと同じ考えだと思う。でもさ、教会の壁にいたずら書きとか悪いことをしようと思う人ってほとんどいないと思わない？
I suppose.
それと同じ。いないと分かってても怖くてできない。つまり信じてなくてもできれば噂とは無縁な位置にいてほしいのよ。
It seemed a bit unreasonable to attribute that to 9/10 of the reason. And I wasn't even going to try and rationalize that far-fetched explanation just now. Yeah, I'm thinking I kind of understand where she's going with it. It's just like, it's a precaution. Oh, jeez. Just dropped that thumbtack. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Oh, I found it. Okay, I gotta stick this somewhere. Oh, I don't know where to put it. This. It's going in a box. There it is. Though I sort of see where you're coming from, that sure was a roundabout explanation. Well, I just said it because I thought... Okay. You mean to your question about God? She replied in a subdued tone. What's wrong? If he existed. What brought that on all of a sudden? I suppose I do, but that's not gonna happen. That's not like you. In an apparent change of mood, Tortoise stood up and picked up the empty cup. Yeah, let's. Well, the rain was no surprise. It seemed darker than usual outside. I want to practice the Fortelle, man. I'm home. I heard Forney reply from inside the room. Yeah, sort of. I threw my bag in the room and dried my hair with the towel I left at the front door. Yeah, you're at the window, aren't you? As usual. You got that right. We exchanged small talk as I faced this guy through the window. I dumped the towel into the laundry basket and finally entered the room. Partner searching? Torta was helping me find a partner. It was hopeless. Our method of searching was kind of flawed. Torta just forced her way into every other practice room to ask if the person inside would partner with me. She knocked on the soundproof doors, and if the people inside noticed, she barged in, just like that. Yep. Exactly. I take it you can imagine the result. I suppose you could say that. While Torta was generally a level-headed individual, she seemed to be missing a few screws every so often. Although few and far between, Forney had met Torta a few times in the past. Although of course she had gained a more solid image of her due to me having talked about her a lot. I am. I wasn't sure about how Forney felt about Torta exactly, but it was clear she liked her. She seemed to feel the same about Ari, who